Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold on now. Wait a minute, fellas. Wait a minute. I think it goes something like this. Whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can somebody take these burdens off of me? Off of me. Can somebody take these burdens off of me? Off of me. Cause every time I turn around, there's something trying to keep me down. Can somebody take these burdens off of me? Off of me. Whoa, can somebody take these burdens off of me? Off of me. Can somebody take these burdens off of me? Off of me. When I look up, don't you know, burdens knocking at my door. So won't you come and take these burdens off of me? Off of me. Oh, come and take these burdens off of me. Off of me. Somebody come and take these burdens off of me. Off of me. Soon as I get up off the ground, my burdens knock me right back down. Can somebody take these burdens off of me? Off of me. Somebody take these burdens off of me, off of me. Somebody take these burdens off of me, off of me. Somebody take these burdens off of me, off of me. Well, off of me, off of me. Oh, off of me, off of me. Well, off of me, off of me. Get them off of me, off of me. Come and break the chain. Come and break the chain. Get it off of me. Get it off of me. I need somebody. I need somebody. I need somebody. I need somebody to get this burden. To get this burden. Can somebody take these burdens off of me?
Just in my rehearsal room. Hold on, 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 everybody hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Robert is coming home. He's coming home. Hold on, everybody hold on. Robert is coming again. He's coming home. Hold on. Everybody hold on. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, no matter how it seems, God's got the final say. It doesn't matter how long it may seem, the end is what matters, for God's got the final say. So hold on, everybody, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, oh, hold on, hold on, for Rabbi, hold on. The enemies may hate, they can tell all lies. No matter how long, the truth will prevail. They can rise up against all the fans that stand up for him. The end will justify, for God has the final say. Oh, no, 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 yo. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, hold on. Robert is coming home. He's coming back, so hold on. All fans, hold on. Hold on. on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Help is on its way, heaven is down here. Hold on, all fans, hold on. God is here, taking it over. Hold on, everybody, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Hey everybody. Hello. Hi everyone. Welcome to the infamous Sylvia's channel. Please take the time to share, like, and subscribe to those who are not currently subscribers of this channel. I was just trying to wait for my one more person to come on in so we can go ahead and read the reenactment. But before we do that, let me go ahead and say hello to the people in the chat. Hello, my actors. Hey Rhoda, hey Tamiria. How you guys doing?
Hey.
You don't sound too enthused. She's like, hey. Hey Tamiria.
Yeah, I'm good. Hey, Sylvia.
Hey guys. Hey
Hi, Jack.
everybody in the chat. Let me say hello to the people in the chat. Hello, Gotti. Good afternoon, Rabbit. Hey, Kimberly Black. Hello, Gotti again. Hello, Shannon. How are you? Let me see who else is in. Hey, Bree. Hello, Rob. Hey, Pretty Brown Eyes. Hey, Good Design. Let's see. Nosy Rosie. Hello, One Cool P. Yay. Okay, I know how hard that is. All right. Thank you so much for forwarding it to your YouTube sports fans. Hey T Girl. Hey Powerful. Hey Black Beauty. Rabbit. Hey Keith Page. How are you doing? Hi. How you doing, Keith? All right. Let's see. T Girl. Hey Vivian. Hey Miss Green Eyes. Hey Ray. Hey Ashley. Let's see. Anybody else that's just coming in? Let's see. Hey Alvira. Hey Toria. Hey Miss T London. Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Okay, I think I said hello to everyone and I'm still waiting for Henny Hen. Where is she? Good help is hard to find, guys. You know that, right? Okay, before we get started, let me go ahead and tell you what we're doing. We are reenacting the hearing from the the Northern District of Illinois, which is the federal case for Mr. Robert Sylvester Kelly. And in this case, there are two other co-defendants, Darrell McDavid and Milton Brown. Those are the co-defendant in this case. I was going to give you a little bit of history on what Mr. Kelly's charged with in regard to this case, just to give someone a rundown of exactly what is going on here. In this case, the Illinois case of the Northern District of Illinois, Mr. Kelly is charged with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 counts of, well, 1 through 4, he's accused of sexual exploitation of children. Then conspiracy to default the United States, destruction and altering, fabrication, CDS Feds investigation, and then activities of rematerial containing child pornography. So that's what, and then also coercing, enticing of a female minor. So he's charged with 13 different counts in this case. All right. So what's happening, this hearing is for motions that his attorney, Jennifer Bongine, filed. And this motion consists of severance, separating the cases between his co-defendant and himself, which is Daryl McDavid. And the reason why it's going to be mentioned in the case where certain things was done by Mr. McDavid, according to Mr. Kelly's claim. So we're going to go ahead and do the hearing that was done on June 1st of 2022. And this hearing was held on in Illinois in the federal Dirksen building. And it was at 9:48 a.m. in Chicago, Illinois, at the 219 South Dearborn Street. And this was done on a video conference. It was not done in person. The attorneys that was represented by the plaintiff, which is the government, the case number is 19 CR 00567, and the plaintiff is the U.S. government, which is the U.S. attorney is the Honorable John R. Launch Jr., United States Attorney. Then you have Janice Appington and Elizabeth Polozzo. Those are the plaintiff in this case. The defendant's attorney is Jennifer Bongine with the Bongine Law. And Daryl McDavid's attorney is Mr. Vadim Goldsman and Mr. Bo Brintley. And Mr. Milton Brown's attorney is Ms. Mary Higgins Judge. And that is who is in the case. I don't know where Henny is, but we're going to go ahead and move forward. We're going to be playing a couple of parts. I'm going to try to change my voice to see who I can be at the time. But we're going to have Miss Rhoda to play Miss Bongine. Tamiria, she is going to be the plaintiff, the government. And I will play the other side, Mr. Bo and Mr. Vadim. So, and then the judge, Rhoda could play the judge as well. All right. Is everybody ready? You guys ready? All right. I'm going to start off as the clerk. All right. Thank you, guys. All right. I'm going to start off as the clerk. And I'm going to try to change my voice as cool as possible. All right. Here we go. 19 CR 567, United States versus Kelly.
Good morning, Your Honor, Janice.
You're not finished?
Sorry. Janice Appleton and Elizabeth Pozzolo on behalf of the United States.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Tamiria, could you come closer? Because you're kind of low. We don't hear you too well.
Okay, do you hear me now?
Come closer.
Can you hear me?
You sound low.
Oh my goodness, I turned it up just now. It was low. Am I better?
Much better. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Bo Brentley. Oh, go ahead. Rhoda.
It's
Oh, good morning, Your Honor. Jennifer Bunjean on behalf of defendant Robert Kelly.
Good morning, Your Honor. Bo Brentley and Van Dim Goldsman on behalf of Daryl McDavid. Good morning, Your Honor. Mary Judge on behalf of Milton Brown.
What about Mr. Kelly? Hi, Judge. Yes, it's Jennifer Bunjean on behalf of Mr. Kelly. Okay. He's not appearing? I don't believe so, Judge. I think this video conference, I don't know if that was a recent, I don't know if it's always a video conference. He's not appearing, apparently. All right. Is there any objection if we proceed without his appearance? No. We'll waive his appearance, Your Honor.
And no objection from the government.
All right. So there's two matters before the court. The motion to sever and a motion for production of records. Ms. Bojine, you filed two motions, one for production of records. Yes.
I'm gonna take that part because
Okay.
it's hard for you.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
And the other one for severance. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge. Would you like? Yes, that's correct. If you'd like me to comment on it, Judge, I'll be happy to.
Let's go to production. What is the objection on the part of the government?
Yes, Your Honor. The government will ask that you enter and continue that motion. The government is aware of its discovery obligations and will comply with them. Prior to defendant filing the motion, the government conferred with counsel and indicated that we will review the materials that are from this separate and unrelated BOP investigation, that we would get back to counsel with regards to any responsive material. And we are committed to do that. And we will do that. As it stands right now, there's just no basis in the motion that any of Mr. Kelly's emails or communications has reached any government witness, nor that any witness has been influenced by any of Mr. Kelly's communication. And indeed, no witness of government official or anyone has been identified in the motions as receiving any of Mr. Kelly's communications.
Let me ask you this. Give us a timeline when you will complete your review.
I'm looking at the calendar. Can we have 2 weeks to do that? We have to request some of the materials again. It's a separate, unrelated investigation, so I have to.
Ms. Bonjean, is that acceptable?
2 weeks is fine, Your Honor. I would not have filed a motion if I didn't believe there was a good faith base for it. It is true. I don't have affidavit from the government's witness, but I do have good faith basis to believe that there may be materials in there that would be discoverable in this case. And I appreciate the government looking into it. 2 weeks is fine.
Fine. So that motion, why don't we just continue that for 2 weeks for the government to comply? All right. Now the motion to sever. Ms. Bojine, do you want to amplify on your written submissions?
Yes, Judge. So, as the court is aware, I came into this case rather late in the game as compared to the other defendant's attorney on the case. When I first came into the case, it was known to me from speaking with prior counsel as well as I had communications with counsel for Mr. Brown and multiple conversation with actually Mr. Goldsman about whether or not this case should be severed, whether any of the parties might be prejudiced by a joint trial. In my motion for continuance, I even laid it out there that I was exploring that I was investigating that because in the discovery materials, it certainly suggests that there's a real possibility of problems, a real circus occurring in a joint trial, and that these defendants are not only just naturally antagonistic, but that these defendants, if and I talk about Mr. McDavid in particular, but also Mr. Brown, I suppose. If they took the stand, that is, that could ultimately end up in being government testimony against my client. I asked Mr. Goldsman about the nature of their defense. He didn't wish to share it with me. That is absolutely his right, but it was my feeling that there was a high risk of antagonistic defenses and not just finger pointing, but that we would be in a position of having to accuse Mr. McDavid of engaging in other criminal conduct that is not just the subject of this indictment. And they're free to object to that. I'm not sure that should be happening in a joint trial, but there is a basis for it, not just in the government's discovery, but through witnesses who will essentially testify that McDavid, who had complete control of Mr. Kelly's account, Mr. Kelly, who is functionally illiterate, who essentially signed both contracts and defer all of his financial management to Mr. McDavid, who was being robbed blindly for a very, very long time. And in fact, some of the overt acts that the government identifies as being part of this conspiracy are actually just evidence of Mr. McDavid stealing from Mr. Kelly. So that presents a problem. Now,
Wow.
I understand those are allegations. I'm sure Mr. McDavid will, and I'm not here to debate the merits of that right now, but that is good faith argument that is going to come out. That's going to come out, and I would think that would create a prejudice potentially for Mr. McDavid as much as Mr. Kelly. So that was my concern. I raised that concern. I also raised the concern, and it's a real concern, as offensive as Mr. McDavid counsel may find it, that Mr. Goldsman, who worked for Mr. Kelly's prior criminal defense attorney, Ed Jensen, in the years that followed Mr. Kelly's acquittal of the state charges, is possibly, I didn't say is, but it's potentially in a conflicted position by virtue of the fact that Mr. Kelly's attorney-client relationship did extend beyond 2008. Mr. McDavid knows it. Everybody knows it. Mr. Kelly checked in with Mr. Jensen on numerous legal matters in the years that followed. You know how else we know it? Ed Jensen admitted it in a newspaper article where he says, I kept him out of trouble for 10 years. That would suggest that you were acting as a lawyer, keeping him out of trouble. And during those 10 years, Mr. Goldsman was working for Mr. Jensen. Now, to me, that raises the possibility that maybe Mr. Goldsman, has potential privileged information that could be used against Mr. Kelly at a joint trial that might be beneficial for Mr. McDavid, but not so beneficial as to Mr. Kelly. It also raises the possibility that's a duty of loyalty is being violated.
Mm.
I'm not moving for Mr. Goldsman to be disqualified or anything of that nature, but I am raising it to bring it to the attention of the court. It is not meant to disparage anybody. But it is unquestionable, as Mr. Kelly's own affidavit set out, that yes, he continued his attorney-client relationship with Ed Jensen. And that makes some sense. And I think Mr. McDavid knows it as well. So we have that's the severance from Mr. McDavid's piece of the motion. And the court is, I assume, aware that we also move to sever the counts related to the other minors, not related to minor one. The minor one counts are the child pornography count, the conspiracy of obstruction count, as well as conspiracy in receiving child pornography. They are all centered around minor one. And I did get why those counts should be joined together. But to tack on 4 other minors where there was no video evidence, I won't get into the credibility of those women at the moment. Ooh, child. Sorry, y'all. Had to put it in there.
Yes, come on, Bojangles.
But to tackle those on, I think is highly prejudicial and makes it impossible for Mr. Kelly to defend those count, because the evidence against the count 1, 2, and 3 is video evidence. It's far stronger. So he is in a very difficult position in defending those other allegations of these other 4 minor, which our position is should be severed from the rest of the counts.
Government's response?
Yes, Your Honor. The government's position is that we oppose the motion on all the bases asserted. We are requesting a week to put that opposition in writing. As to the conflict of interest, Mr. McDavid's response indicated that Mr. Glozman would be willing to provide an affidavit that may clarify some of the issues, and the government would be interested in reviewing that and incorporating that into the submission if the courts were so inclined to order that. But as to all the bases asserted, the government opposed it and will submit it in its writing and lay out more fully why there's absolutely no basis for severance in this matter.
Hold on a second. Henny, could you take over the judge? And that's on page 9, line 24. And Rhoda, you could take Bonjean. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Henny.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting there. Page 9, line 14.
24.
24. Mr. Brindley?
Judge, after reviewing it in detail, and we filed our own response, my initial reaction, big picture reaction, are that a potential conflict of interest has never been a grounds for severance. I have never heard of that. If there is a potential conflict of interest, which there is not, we would need to deal with that sort of like the government suggests, and as well as we all would deal with it. But it's not a basis for severance. So I do not know what it really has to do with anything. Normally, it would be the government that would be coming to me with this. But when we should address it, like I've done many times in many cases, So that's not a ground for severance. I really don't think that it has a part in this motion. Mr. Goldsman would be happy to provide an affidavit to the government's purpose to establish that he had no conversation, information, no awareness of any further consultation Mr. Kelly and Mr. Kelly and between Mr. Kelly and Mr. Jensen. So I think that part of it is not, has got nothing to do with severance as we set it aside. And frankly, I don't have a strong position on whether the two defendants are severed bases on what I've read. And under the law, antagonistic defense don't constitute a ground of severance. That's why we couldn't even consider such a thing when we were filing for this. And I think, Your Honor, even mentioned that Mr. Greenberg earlier had said something along these lines. And based on that, I just don't know what the merit of this motion is. I don't see it. And if you want to accuse Mr. McDavid of stealing from Mr. Kelly and they think that helps his defense, I'll be happy to address this in trial. That doesn't bother me. I can object to it if necessary. But I really, from our perspective, we're not asking for severance. And quite frankly, the basis that I have been raised, I just don't see those as really being things in which severance could be granted in the circumstances of this case. So that's how we feel about it. Now, if there is to be a serious question about the conflict of matter and whether Mr. Jensen had continuing relationship with Mr. Kelly, he submitted an affidavit now. There could be a hearing on that. I do believe there are witnesses from Mr. Jensen's staff that would be able to wholeheartedly contradict Mr. Kelly's has a claim now. But I'm hoping we don't have to do that. But we will if we need to.
All right. So the government wants to respond in writing. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor, just 1 week.
And Mr. Oh,
Mr. Goldman and Mr. Goldman is on the call. Can you state what you put in the affidavits, Mr. Goldman? You're an officer of the court, so I will take your statement as an officer of the court, which is a good or better than affidavit. Your Honor, I began working with Mr. Ginson's office in 2012. I work as a law clerk for another attorney, Mr. Gillespie. Mr. Jensen, I started working directly for Mr. Jensen in June of 2013 as a law clerk, which is 5 years after the acquittal. I could have worked for the case when he was indicted. I was graduating 8th grade, and when he got acquitted, I was a sophomore in college. There were conversations about that case. You know that it was a victory, but nothing that would have been privileged.
Yeah, right.
I've never met Mr. Kelly aside from in the courtroom once he got indicted. I've never talked to him. I don't believe I have any information that would be privileged from Mr. Kelly as it relates to that case. Your Honor. Judge?
is that acceptable, government? Is that what you're looking for?
Your Honor, I believe in Mr. Davis' response. Mr. Glozman also indicated that Mr. Glozman had no possessions of any privileged communication or had acquired any privileged communication of confidential communications. And to that matter, Mr. Brindley, perhaps you can recall what was actually written in the response, but there was something in the effect that Mr. Glozman separate and apart from the state trial, that he did not acquire any privilege or confidential communication related to Mr. Kelly's attorney-client relationship with Mr. Jensen.
Judge, that is the crux of what we wrote in the motion. And I think Mr. Gosman can address that specifically now. That is definitely our position. He doesn't have any privilege information whatsoever from the time of the trial and any time thereafter, provided by Mr. Kelly or related to Mr. Kelly. Your Honor, from what I remember of Mr. Jensen, he didn't like to text or email. So I can't imagine I'd have anything in writing with him from Mr. Kelly. If he ever talked to Mr. Kelly on a cell phone while I worked with him, I wouldn't know that. I know I've never seen Mr. Kelly at our office when I was there, and I never talked to him directly.
Have you ever had a conversation with Mr. Kelly personally where he said hello or you said hello or anything along those lines, all the way up to having some kind of legal position? Have you ever had any conversation with Mr. Kelly whatsoever?
I don't believe I talked to him. I might have said hi to him in a courtroom after indictment if if we were standing there, but I never talked to him. I think even his affidavit said he didn't talk to me.
So the most you could have said So the most you could say is that you may have said hi or hello, nice to meet you, Mr. Kelly, or something along those lines.
I don't think it would even have been. It might have been more of a nod, a head nod, if anything.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, the government will respond in a week. Miss Bogine, do you want to respond a week later?
Sure, Judge.
All right, then the court will rule.
The parties, the government conferred with the
You
parties.
didn't say Your Honor.
She
What
skipped the line too.
You skipped a
Okay,
We're
line.
on line.
I'm sorry. Your Honor, the government has two other matters we'd like to address if now is appropriate.
Fine.
The government conferred with the parties prior to the call and jointly, or the government would request the parties to do not object to an additional week for the parties to file their motions in limine, specifically on June 13th, with a response date remaining the same, as well as remaining the trial date remaining the same. So the response date being July 5th and keeping the same date for the trial.
Okay, is that acceptable, Miss Bogine?
It is, Judge. I'll be struggling to meet that deadline regardless. I'm actually on trial in Los Angeles right now. I have opening statements in about an hour in a courtroom here. The court is already aware of the pressures on me having come in so late in the case. And obviously, my professional obligations that existed prior to this still exist. But I have no objection, and I will do my very best to comply with that deadline. I also have Mr. Kelly's sentencing hearing in the Eastern District at the end of this month. So I'm assuming I'm alive. I will definitely try to meet that obligation.
When is Mr. Kelly's sentencing currently set?
June 29th, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Your Honor,
Your Honor?
Excuse me. Go ahead, Miss Penning.
Your Honor, just one more issue we'd like to raise with the court. That's with regards to COVID protocols for the upcoming trial. Two things. One, we wanted to confirm whether our trial date has been confirmed by the committee and whether we have a courtroom set up to accommodate the 3 defendants with their counsel, as well as the U.S. Marshals for Defendant Kelly, as well as the court staff. And perhaps we can talk about this at the next hearing, as well as COVID protocol for the government. And the court would require in place, as we're beginning to meet with the witnesses and other people in our office, so that we can, make them aware of their testing procedures and all of that other stuff. If Your Honor, we're not asking that we're maybe needed to discuss this right now, but if at the next hearing we could set aside time to do that.
Mel, did we get the courtroom assignment yet?
Unfortunately, Judge, we do not have a courtroom assignment at this time. If I may ask the parties a time frame for the trial.
At least 3 weeks. That's not including what we anticipate may be a little bit longer jury selection process.
Is that counting the government's case in the 3 weeks, or are you taking into account time for the defense? That's what I'm wondering.
That's the government's case.
Okay, Judge, we're going to have a fairly extensive defense on behalf of Mr. McDavid, involving multiple witnesses. So we're going to need a couple of days for the presentation of Mr. McDavid's defense, and certainly whatever Mr. Kelly is going to put on. So I think if the government needs 3 weeks, we should plan for 4 to be safe.
Yes, Judge, I think that's correct.
If we start the case, we'll finish it.
You hear that, right? Read that part again.
If we start the case, we'll finish it.
What's that big word in the front?
If.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Mr. Brindley.
Yes.
So I would not pressure an overly pessimistic length of trial if you want to get this case done. It's my understanding now that I believe we're at 2 feet rather than 6 feet, which opens up a lot of space. And Ms. Bozine,
Judge, on behalf of, I'm sorry to interrupt, Judge. On behalf of Mr. Kelly, I meant to raise this earlier, and I just wanted to let the court know. I've let the U.S. Attorney know.
Listen.
Mr. Kelly has retained an expert, a forensic video expert, in connection with the counts related to the child pornography counts.
Say it again. Say that one again, Rhoda. Say that one again, please.
Which one?
Just that sentence from the beginning.
I'm sorry.
I meant to raise
this earlier, and I just wanted to let the court know, and I've let the U.S. Attorney know, Mr. Kelly has retained an expert, a forensic video expert, in connection with the counts related to the child pornography counts. I confirmed the expert. He was formally retained. I need to let the U.S. Attorney's Office know. I'll send over his CV. And we discussed the protocols. And I'm hoping we can reach some resolution about the protocols for getting that work done. All the work needs to be done, apparently, understandably, in the Department of Homeland Security offices, because it does involve child pornography. And there may require us to come back to the court for some reason. But I just wanted to flag that. We're doing that this week.
Oh, we're doing it when? Say it again.
This week.
And that was first. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah.
Fine. Anything further?
Nothing from the government, Your Honor. Of course not.
I'm sorry. Nothing on behalf of Mr. McDavid.
Miss Judge, everything okay with your client?
Yes, Judge. Everything is great with my client. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That was it, y'all.
Yeah.
Booyah! All right. The
Dang,
big
the
word is
judge said
if.
if
And
there
then he
is.
said, let's not what? Go back up to what he said? Let's not be pessimistic. What? What did he say? Let's not
Yeah.
be
He said 2
pessimistic
feet
length.
for the 6.
Overtly does not press an overtly pessimistic length of a trial if you want to get this case done.
And he
They
said
trying to
we're
take it
more
out
at
for
2
a
feet than
couple of
6
months.
feet.
They trying to go to trial and they
Judge is
ain't
like,
even get on.
hey, I may not live that long. Let's not do that.
They trying to drag it out like 2
Pessimistic.
months.
He said pessimistic. How is a length going to be pessimistic? It's like negative. Negative.
Like y'all trying to do trial and we ain't got all this evidence verified.
Hello.
Okay,
What
let's
kind
see
of
what
evidence?
Ray said. A team isn't a team if all doesn't do their part of being a team. Come out now. No need for faking and shaking. Let's keep it at 100. All right, Ray.
Amen, amen.
So we learned something from the hearing. What have you learned, Miss Tamiria, since you're at the top?
What I learned. I learned that Bonjean is kicking butt, okay? I learned
She ain't playing. She ain't taking no prisoners, y'all.
man, Bonjean is doing her thing. She coming with it. She coming with it. They better come with theirs.
I want to know why the is the McDavis attorney talking about
Y'all,
reason for not severing? I'm like, really?
but
You
look,
know good well he done had access to that record. He done saw it. He needs to stop.
Rhoda, he was trying to severance this case from Robert before. Why you changing your mind now?
Exactly.
Why are you changing your mind now? Because what? Bonjean gonna kick your butt.
And he know, coming off a fresh law student, he done read that court case. He know it. I don't care what he say. He know he have.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a trial.
Absolutely. That's what
He
I
said if. He said if.
He said if that tape ain't what it's supposed to be, we're gonna drop all this mess.
He said if it's a trial.
Girl.
He said if. Did y'all catch that word? If. Not when trials start. If it's a trial.
Because he hadn't even ruled on the dismissal and stuff yet, ain't he?
Hasn't ruled on none of it. He said he's gonna do it in the paperwork. So remember, Bonjean got the forensics video forensic, and that was last week. That was the first. So she hired them for last week. So you don't know what's happening right now.
Absolutely.
You don't know what's happening. That was last week. Wee! Stop playing around.
See what you over there? Got your
They
legs.
trying to get him for the 2008 trial. That's all that is. Trying to
can't do it because he found not guilty. Period.
Exactly. And then that's the same doggone tape that the government had already said they couldn't tell if that's him or her on the tape. So why are you trying to come up with something new? They need to stop it.
Tom, you had what's his name? What's the attorney name? I can't even think of the snake's name. Michael Avenatti on TV talking that mess, talking about the girl. They was both talking about she 14. Who does that?
No,
I'm 14. Am I 14? Yeah, you 14.
They done, y'all. Done. Oh, Ray, congratulations on your wrench. I was looking for Rob to
You
come
read
on
what
and
Ray just
get
said?
the
He said, "Come on with the." Oh, it went so fast. What did he just say, Sylvia? What Ray?
Ray. He said, "Come on with it. No time to go back and get it. When they know the bull, Bonjean isn't the other attorney that's been on the side skipping."
Exactly.
Exactly, Ray.
Exactly. She know her stuff. Not saying they didn't, but not for this kind of case, they didn't.
Yeah.
I wonder what they doing now. Steve been quiet.
I'm excited, y'all. Yeah, where's Rob? I'm looking for Rob. Rob, type something in, please.
I'm excited for the men joining on up with us.
Yes,
We need
Yeah.
these men side of, we need that.
We need a few good men.
Feel good men.
Man, it's just raining off and on. Raining.
But it's all right, Tori. When we get information, then they get mad when I don't bring it out, when I go behind closed doors to do it. So, but they want to be stingy with their likes. Okay, y'all go ahead, don't be stingy when there's stuff about to come down. You know, y'all want to know what's going on, and you know that, right? Okay. I get the 411. Remember that. You want to be in, get the 411? You need to go ahead and hit the like buttons.
It's supposed to be something coming down tomorrow. Tomorrow, June 8th.
Absolutely something coming down tomorrow. A couple of things are coming down tomorrow.
Yeah, June 8th, then June 13th. Come on.
Come on now.
And you know Sylvia gonna
June
be
15th and June 29th.
June 15th, June 29th. That's right. Sylvia gonna be on the case. We gonna make sure.
I know I'm gonna be on that case.
Now y'all can go and do what y'all want to do, but if you want the real information, you need to come over and put those likes up to Sylvia.
Anybody has any questions? Okay, don't forget Friday. We have the attorney that's gonna be here at 7 p.m. We have Mr. Tully. He is the attorney for Keith Rainier. And you guys know Keith Rainier was also charged with racketeering, and government planted fake evidence. But anyway, good people, I'm gonna have to take my butt on off this live because I have things to do. I got work to do. I got people to see, places to go, things to make happen. They sure not. You right, Toria. They sure not buying any transcript. They sure not. They're not buying any transcript. And plus, it's not even on Paces yet. See, that's the type of person I am. I get it done. I get the job done.
Get it done. She get it done.
Get it done.
You try to make sure the people have the information, but you know, people got so much hate in their heart. They don't know if they coming or going.
Thanks
everyone told me today. He said, "What?"
Everyone for the comments.
Apostle Ben told me today. He said, "What? What did he say to me, y'all? Do you remember what Apostle Ben said to me?"
He said, "Don't listen to what the people say."
He said, "Don't
listen.
Let the battle is God. Whatever they say about you, don't just ignore it."
That's right.
And that's what I'm doing now. I'm learning to ignore. Huh?
God knows your heart.
He knows my heart. He knows where I'm at. He knows this time that he's given me. Hey, McCain. Yep. Bonjean is not playing, y'all.
She's the truth. She's the truth.
God is fighting for you, amen.
Why you have those other 4 women on there? They'll have nothing to do with it. If you say Jane Doe number 1 is on the tape, what the other women got to say about it? What are they on?
Talking about?
Why is they in the case?
Yeah, and you know what the funny thing is? You're getting a forensic expert on the tapes. So that means there's something wrong with the tapes. Because if Mr. Kelly's willing to show, and I keep thinking about that video that he did in an interview with was it Trevor Smiley, when they asked you, have you seen the tape? And he's like, no. He says, don't you think you want to see the tape? He says, no, I don't need to see the tape if I know it ain't me. Why would you want to see a tape that you know it's not you?
And
Right?
this child pornography. He ain't into that. You don't want to see that mess.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, guys, I gotta go for real. I got to go. We got stuff to do, people to see, things to get done.
We got things to do and people to meet.
Oh, hold on, yeah. I gotta show you me. Hey, little Matt, hold on. I gotta show you the weight loss. Hold on. I'm not gonna take off my clothes no more.
Now you done lost some more since Friday. Come on.
Hold on.
Don't be lifting up.
Oh, I'm not gonna lift up my clothes.
You can pull it back.
Yes, girl. Don't it feel good?
Yes.
Don't it feel good?
Oh, look at that dance. Do that dance.
Clothes getting bigger. Even my bra too big on me, y'all.
Yep.
My bra too big. Look at this. Oh, my boobs going.
Oh my God.
Oh, sorry guys. I'm sorry, fellas. I forgot. Sorry guys. I forgot about the live. There's men in here. Sorry guys. Sorry.
And then the man that they got the tape from, supposedly the man from Philadelphia, wherever he was from, Sylvia, he said that they made him say that he had that tape. That was a phony tape in the beginning.
Oh wow.
Where that tape come from? Avenatti had the man that's in jail, the attorney that's in jail right now. Where you get that?
Shirley says it's time to get a new bra. Yeah, Shirley, no boobs are not holding the boobs no more.
So that's what I learned. That's what I learned from this transcript. A lot of that stuff is bull crap, and Bonji gonna call him right on out. It should have been called out in the first place.
Yeah. Thanks, Niecy Pooh. Yep, you're right. Mm-hmm.
She said perspective selling. Demetrius' book said a lot.
Yeah.
Next level says shaky, don't break.
Yeah, I'm gonna be too much when this weight comes out. I'm gonna be like off the chain. I might have to turn it and make it be aware. Look at Ray. Look at Ray got the eyes.
The tape was manipulated and Tory Williams because they didn't care if it was real. They didn't care if it was real or not. Right? They don't care. The attorneys don't try to investigate and make sure if it's real. They gonna put it in there and say it was him. That's what attorney's job come in at. They gotta make sure. Say that it's not real. It's not my it's not the defendant.
Yeah.
He said the past attorney don't even know how to spell his name.
Who said that?
Ashley Cashon.
All right, guys, I gotta go. Seriously, I got some stuff I need to take care of, y'all. It's been wonderful, and I plan not to keep you guys long anymore. But as soon as things come out, I got it. I got you. Sylvia's on the case.
Okay.
All right. Infamous Sylvia's on the case, guys. I see you later. Bye. Love you guys.